Thank you very much, and welcome, Carey. Give him a hand. Yay.
Thank you all. I really appreciate you coming out here to check this out. I'm deeply honored to share this with you here. Boom, 2010. I love it here, and just blown away by everything that we've created here, and thank you all for coming and being a part of it and co-creating it. So I'm going to talk about sacred geometry and basically how I've come to realize that it's one of the most important healing tools that we have for reconnecting ourselves with the universal continuum. I basically feel that the human species kind of divided itself, separated itself from the harmony of the rest of the world and universe, and because of that, what we see in the world is all kinds of environmental problems, poverty, sexism, racism. All these pretty much stem from our schism that's created between ourselves and the rest of the world, the universe. So I feel sacred geometry is a good way for us to learn how everything underlying the physical world in another dimension is connected, and by careful observance of nature, you can really start to see the underlying patterns that connect everything that we see. And you know, I've explored it through my art, and it's just really revealed so much to me as to my role, my personal connection with each other and everything else around me. So I'm going to go through some of the basics and fundamentals of sacred geometry, lead you through it, and talk about how you can observe it in nature and architecture and all these things, and even Boom here this year. So here we go. So starting with the circle, you have the complete whole, the pure potential that resides within it, everything, you know, containing everything and nothing, and from that we begin. So you create the polarity of that, and this shape, this division of the circles, is called the Vesica Pisces, and the space created from the center of those intersecting circles is pretty much like a womb of creation, and all things through it can be manifested, and I'll show you how with the next few steps. As you continue to create Vesica Pisces around one circle, you create 7, and from this you get the seed of life. And from that shape, as you can see, you can derive all the regular polygons, such as the equilateral triangle, pentagon, hexagon. All these shapes can be derived from this. And continuing on, you see this pattern, which you're probably all familiar with. It's called the flower of life. And it is not only just a pretty symbol, but also it's a template for all of creation, because through it, as energy, as impulses from the universe, from the source of all, come through, filtering through the dimensions into the third dimension that we can see and feel. It comes through this template, and you know, from plants to animals to crystals to all these things are pretty much kind of filtered through this template, and I'll kind of demonstrate that in the next few slides. And also, here is how you would create what's called the Metatron's cube. And that is also a template in which you can derive all the platonic solids, which are 3-dimensional polyhedra, which are the basic building blocks of nature. And by observing nature, you can see how these shapes you can find throughout, from on the atomic level to the physical level, and even like the galactic level on all scales. So that was the cube. And there's 5 of these. This is the tetrahedron. All these platonic solids are basically equal sides, equal angles, and equal edges. There's only 5 of them known. And this is the octahedron. This is the dodecahedron, 12 pentagons connected. And this is the icosahedron, which is 20 equilateral triangles. So these are very powerful shapes, and as you will see, they pretty much comprise the natural world, and when you observe them in different aspects, demonstrated in the natural world, you can start to see how underlying each form, each shape, are these shapes that are, comprising all of the world. And let's see some examples of some other ones. These are Archimedean solids, which are basically the same equal sides, equal angles, but they have different faces. And there's 13 of those. This is the cuboctahedron, which is a rare one, which is also known as the vector equilibrium, because it has not only the equal sides from the outside, but also from the central point to the vertexes on the outside are all equal, creating a balanced vector forces. And they can nestle within each other fractally. Here are the 13 Archimedean solids, which are also found in nature in different ways. And here are some stellated polyhedra, which you can create from the regular platonic solids by just extending the points inward or outward. And here's an example of one. This is the amethyst portal, which you can see in the healing area. It's a stellated dodecahedron created by Harlan Emil Gruber, who also created the DJ booth, as you can see here. We're incorporating in his art, we have the star tetrahedrons in the corners, as well as the stellated dodecahedron, as a way of sort of amplifying the energy of the music and also creating a resonance with the music and the people and nature to kind of like culminate the energy and bring it up and connect us to nature and the universe. And I find it really effective. So here we are. We can see aspects of the natural world derived from sacred geometry. So from the flower of life, you'll get the hexagonal polygon, and from that you can see how nature uses these as like templates to which to create its forms. So as you know, with snowflakes, not one is ever repeated. And for instance, here's another one. So beautiful, elegant forms found in nature. Just have to observe and be watchful of them. There's a honeycomb, which is utilized by wasps and bees because it's the most efficient use of space and material, and that's another reason why it's also used all throughout industry. Here's a lily flower, which also uses that same geometry to create its form. Very beautiful and elegant, and just the composition just is intended and designed to draw you in, just like an insect would. It's a beautiful form. So this is a photo of an experiment I did in Hawaii years back, where I wanted to see if the dolphins would respond to the art, which is created through the geometry. And yeah, my initial experience was about 12 of them that I finally encountered, and we had about 15 or 20 minutes with each other. And then I went out to take a rest, and I saw a few of them back out there, and it seemed as if they went and called and got their whole pod, and by the end of it I was swimming with about 70 of them. So it was a really successful experiment. They really seemed to respond to it. And I've also found that yeah, just because utilizing the geometry in the artwork, it connects everything. You can't not resonate with the geometry because we all come from it, we all are derived from it. So you can start to experience the fact that we are all kind of one underneath this physical division that we sometimes sense. So it's really healing when you realize through different means and different tools that we are all interconnected. And from that space you can really realize that there is no reason to treat each other badly or treat the earth badly, because you're treating yourself badly. And that's a really important thing for us to realize, so we can start to restore the harmony on our planet. Here we have some crystals that have the hexagonal shape. This is a ruby, as is this. So not only connecting the plant world and the animal world, but we have the crystalline world connected through the geometry. Here's a cubic fluorite, starfish with the pentagonal geometry, and here's a star tetrahedral carbon nucleus of 6 protons and 6 neutrons, with the electrons orbiting around. And as you know, carbon being the basis for organic life, So connecting all organic life, plants, animals, and everything is rooted with this geometry right here in the carbon nucleus. And other allotropes of carbon, such as graphite, are basically also geometric in nature. This is the hexagonal form of graphite, and because of that, the property of carbon with graphite, you can create this layered effect. So that's how pencils work, because it's just the layers of graphite shedding off the tip. But you apply more energy to that same carbon atom, and you get the diamond crystal lattice, which is tetrahedral in nature. It's the strongest form found in nature. So here we have geometry again expressing itself, and just shifting it subtly creates major differences in its properties. Here's another allotrope of carbon, 36, creating that. It's a icosahedron. Here's the benzene ring formed by 6 carbon atoms joined together, which is also a foundational molecule of organic chemistry. And here's a diagram of Ernst Haeckel's work. He created diagrams of microscopic organisms he found in nature in the 19th century. Beautiful, elegant forms, all geometric in nature. So careful observation of the microscopic world will reveal a bounty of beauty and elegance with all these forms that you can see. So it connects the microscopic beyond into the macroscopic world. And this is a photo of the early distribution of energy in the universe as galaxies coalesce together, and all this energy strands forming these over eons of time and space, very self-similar to the mycelial matrix of mushrooms. So you can see this, from the microscopic to the massive macroscopic scale, this similarity of pattern. So really fascinated by that, and observing how you can see, repetition in different areas of nature and different scales. And here I wanted to demonstrate another fascinating concept and metaphor for consciousness, and that is the holotropic model. And I've heard Stanislav Grof's name mentioned a few times tonight, and his work was monumental with my process of understanding myself and my relationship to the universe and my relationship with everything in this holographic model. Because, for instance, say this is just a photo, you can take that photo and cut it in half, and you get 2 halves. But if it was a hologram, as you've seen those photos that are 3-dimensional, you cut it in half, and you get 2 complete wholes as you divide it. And you cut it again, you get 4 holes. Cut it again and again and again. No matter how many times you divide that hologram, you get the entire whole within it. And as that being a metaphor for consciousness, we are ourselves, our human brain consciousness is basically a slice, a component that contains all the information of the universe within it. Just like every cell in our body has the genetic information of our entire body. So it's a really powerful way to understand the way we ourselves are part of this entire whole, this interconnected web that spans across the universe. So there's no separation between ourselves and distant galaxies, distant civilizations, anything like this. All the information is contained within us. And it really resonates with me, this model, and my experiences with my art, and being able to just sort of dissolve the ego and allow the currents of creation to come through. I've learned so much about the universe and the way it works, things that I wasn't really consciously aware of or studied or anything like that. So it really is fascinating to me, and his work really truly resonates with me. And as well, the work of Rupert Sheldrake with morphogenetic fields, how we're all connected, each species, everything basically, through these fields that we create and are created by, this feedback.